everyone. Welcome to the Dear Abby Dolliver Show. I am Abby Dolliver, Superintendent of Norwich Public Schools, and we're so thrilled to have many of our students here and staff today for this show. We have members of our Kelly Middle School Teen Outreach Program, and we also have our audience of students from the 6th grade academy at Teacher Memorial, Panther Productions, both in the audience to ask questions and in the control room. So over this year, Panther Productions has, students have really helped us to do this production. So we're going to get going. So we're so thrilled to have you here, and I'm going to ask you each to introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about how come you're here.
My name is Delisia Dollinger, and I'm the Teen Outreach Facilitator. And I've selected some of my students here with me that are from 8th grade and 7th grade who are members of our Teen Outreach Program. So,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Savannah, and I'm in 8th grade, and I'm part of the TOPS group, and I've been here since this year.
So this is your first year in the program?
Yes, this is my first year.
Well, my name is Jake.
You can use Jay. That's good.
Well, my name is Jay Johnson, and this is my first year at TOP.
Okay, and you're in 7th grade,
Yeah.
right, Jay? All right, thanks.
My name is Gine, and this is my 2nd year, and I'm in 8th grade.
Okay, well, we're glad to have perspective from 7th and 8th grade, and Jean's been here in the program for 2 years, right?
Yes, yes.
So, Ms. Dollinger, if you could start by talking to us about what is the Teen Outreach Program?
the Teen Outreach Program is an acronym, and it stands for TOPS Teen Outreach Program, and it was founded in 1898. By 2000, it was narrowed down to focus on the needs of the children and the teens today, such as helping them to find a meaning and purpose, developing healthy lifestyles, and them sharing their success with the communities. So that's what our premise is for teen outreach. We focus basically on educating the children that are in our club, and then we actively find different ways. They vote on it, on what type of community activities they want to pursue. So we brainstorm, and then we go through a process, and then the kids come up with great ideas how they want to help out in the community and volunteer.
That's great. So how did you get involved in this program?
I was asked for the job, and I took it, and I've learned a lot in the short period of time I've been here, and I've grown very close with my students and my club members. I've learned so much about myself as a person and about my students, because they come to me and they talk to me, and we have a club atmosphere. Even though it's an educational environment, we really focus on building a family. So we feel close to one another. Sometimes, you know, families are families.
Oh,
Things are not perfect always, but it all works out. We talk a lot.
And you learn something.
Yes, yes.
I always say everything's a learning opportunity.
Exactly.
So whether it's, you know, a little struggle
Yes.
along the way, that's
Yep.
okay.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the goals of the program. You started to, but
Right. The goals of the program is we have from the 8th graders perspective, and we have 25 members. That's the goal. And the goal is to have the 25 members reach 20 hours of community service throughout the year. So we do the lesson plans, and then we, like I said, do the community service. And then for the 7th graders, we also have 25 members. That's the goal, to keep them, and they have to attend the club 2 times a week. My 8th graders are on Mondays and Wednesdays, and the 7th graders are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I've tried to blend the 2 of them together, so we have some camaraderie, which is nice, because we did an international dinner back in, when was that?
In March.
In March, yeah, March. And we did a dinner with the family members in the PBIS, which was really nice. It was international themed.
That's great.
So we had music, some of the students danced, some of the students sang. It was really a nice environment, bringing the teachers and the students and the families together. So our goal and our purpose is, like I said, try to see what we can do to give back to the community, not just what the kids can take, but what they can learn about themselves and humanitarians, and what they can do to help people, whether it be children, the elderly, the kids their own age, clothes drive. Do you remember the one we donated money to, was it at Christmas time? We did a donation for a family that was in need,
That's
and
great.
we had a penny drive. So we did that, and then all the proceeds that we raised went towards that family.
that's great. So You do have separate club for 7th graders?
Yes,
Like Jay, you're not in the same club as
Right.
these young women.
right.
And at occasion you come together.
Yeah, sometimes, because I said it depends on, the attendance. So, we've gone through some different situations with, we have good attendance, it goes up, it fluctuates,
Yep.
because they have sports, this, that, and the other. So I've noticed that, they blend well together because the 8th graders can learn from the 7th graders, and the 7th graders can learn from the,
Absolutely.
so it's a nice blend, like
That's great.
yeah.
So do you usually have over-enrollment, meaning that you have to have a process for selecting who's in the program?
From what I understand, I wasn't there at the beginning of the school year, so for this upcoming school year, you have like an open enrollment for the most part, and then you select the kids who would be a good fit. You try to get a blended, well-rounded group of children, so you have your leaders and your people who have all different types of strengths to children, so you can really have a really flourishing club, I think.
Are you the only adult involved in the club?
No, I have an assistant, Miss
Okay.
Wilson, Deborah Wilson, and
Okay.
she assists me. She's wonderful.
great.
So she helps me, and she's my right-hand woman. I can't say man, but right-hand person that
Yeah.
we go to, and we really work really well together.
So this will probably be I'm a little ahead of myself, but once we talk about selection, it makes me interested in how did you all hear about the club and what would interest you in the club? Gine, how about if we start, because this is your 2nd year.
Yes.
So what made you interested last year, and why would you want to be in it again?
Okay, so in 6th grade they had top, but I could never be in it because I was in 6th grade. It only was for 7th and 8th graders.
Mhm.
So every time I see them in top, I thought it was really fun. So as soon as I got in 7th grade, and they asked us who wants to come in top, and I wanted to be in top like really bad because I thought it was really fun. But like in the beginning, I didn't really like it because we switched teachers. It went from this other teacher to Miss Thornburn, but I liked it, but not really. But as soon as we kept on going, I started to like it. So the next year, I wanted to do it again because I really liked it. I liked
You like
helping people.
The helping people, that's what
Yes.
I wondered. Is it
Yeah.
about that? Is
Yeah.
it about being with your friends? It's about all of
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes.
Savannah?
Well, I heard about my friends were going to sign up for it this year, and
Mhm.
then one of my friends did it last year, and she said that was really fun. So I was like, oh, maybe I could sign up for it this year, and I did, and I've had a really good time.
You've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Jay?
Well, I was actually at lunch, and Miss T approached my table and asked people if they wanted to join. So me and my friend Jonte, we said, yeah, and
So-
I'm here now.
And there you are, still. That's great. So is there a particular curriculum that you follow?
We have a curriculum, and there's 4 different books that we use. The first book is predominantly for the younger kids, so we get into different topics that could be applicable to their life at that current time. And as it goes on, which you can interchange between book 1 through book 4, and you have to know your kids, so you have to know their maturity level and know where they are and what needs they need for the curriculum per se. So what I do on a regular basis, I go through the curriculum and see what I think might be good for them for that day, or if they're having a problem with trust, or that's a really good one. We did one on values. That was we had $100 bills, so we had to have an auction. That was fun. So yeah,
So
we had.
does the curriculum provide you with those kinds of
Yeah,
activities?
yeah.
You don't have to dream them all up.
No, they give you, and you have to be creative a little bit,
Yes.
because I came up with the $100 bills. I'm like, they
That's
would
cute.
love the $100
That's
bills.
great.
So they're like, and then they had, when we did the lesson, you do a pre-test prior to having the club. And then once, at the very end, they take a post-test to see what they've learned and the time frame over the year's time frame. And it's pretty amazing to see, because we've been doing reviews, to see what they've grasped and what they remember, because you think they're not listening, and they are. They're taking it all in, so it's really nice.
Well, they're still in the club and it's
Yeah,
May, so
exactly.
that says something, that you're
Exactly.
still here doing it. How many hours are the students required to do?
They're required to do, it's 2 hours, hour and a half a week, well, actually 3 hours a week. So they have to have at least 80% of the attendance coming to club throughout the year. And they're required to do the 20 hours of community service throughout the whole entire year.
Okay.
So they have to stay within that 80% percentage, like they say, so they get credit because, because it's ran through the Uncas Health District.
Yes, the
So,
grant.
yeah, the grant. So they have to have a certain amount of hours to meet the criteria.
So the three of you think for a moment, so that I can ask you, what have you learned from being in this program? what comes up first in your mind? Jay, do you want to start?
Well, I've learned as being a top member that this is almost like a privilege, and that I'm really thankful in the beginning of the year that Miss T actually accepted me, and that right now Miss Dollinger kept me in top.
That's great. Savannah?
I've learned to not always think about myself and that I'm not the only person in the world with problems, and in top I can help the community in like different ways.
That's great.
Yeah, as Anna said, like, I always liked to help people when I was younger, but, like, I never knew how to do it when I was younger because, you know, I was young. So, like, now I'm 14 and, like, I like helping people because, like, I don't like seeing people sad. And, like, as, like, we help the community, it makes me more happy, it makes me smile. Like, to see people happy, like, they can, like, use what we, like, did for them, like, in their everyday life. Like, sometimes we take stuff for advantage, but I like to help them. Like, it makes me happy when I help them.
That's great. To me, one of the biggest lessons that we adults can pass on to our students, the ones, all of you, is how you can honor others by helping them in some way.
Right.
Like charity, we always talk about charity.
Yes.
So if you collect money, you may keep a little for your program, but then you share the rest so that the wealth is spread, or whatever it is that you do. So it's a really great lesson. What about, now it's also about healthy behaviors. You talk about conversations about trust and other things. Anything in particular that you've learned about healthy behaviors? Savannah, can you think of anything, or any of you? Or either of the other two, you know, if there's
Healthy
any.
behaviors.
Yeah,
Well,
even mentally healthy, like,
Oh, I got one. Like,
okay,
like we did a lesson one time on like trust and like learning to trust your friends, like what trust is
And friendship, that lesson about friendship and
Oh, yeah,
it's all
unhealthy
healthy.
friendship.
That's-
friendship, and
It's
then
not just about eating health or
yeah.
physical health, it's also about mental health.
Self-esteem, how they
Self-esteem.
in relationships
we
as well.
Mhm.
Remember the relationship when
Yeah.
we talked about identifying themselves and hygiene and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Anybody have anything to add to that? No? Now, when you talk about having to set a goal and figure out what the goal would be for that month or that week, how might you do that? Any of you can answer that.
maybe like to like spread out like what you have to do and like how to get it done, and
Mhm. What might be a goal? Do you have an example?
maybe like homework. Let's say like you have like you have like homework like from a certain class like
Mhm.
every single day of the week. Like you have to make sure like you write in your planner that they give you, and like you make sure that you do it every single day.
Mhm.
Yes.
Has it made you more focused on being organized, maybe?
Yeah.
Getting work done, taking care of what
Well-
you need to?
Like,
Jay?
when Miss Dollinger first came here, I was like kind of forward to doing homework because sometimes at home I just play outside and don't really focus on my homework that much. But Top gave me that opportunity to whatever I had to do, my math homework or
So do you do your homework first, then you do whatever the program
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
then you don't have to worry about it later?
No.
Even though we hope you still continue to read at home at night, maybe? Had to put that little plug in. Talk to me, you're talking about trust and relationships and caring about others, life skills, that's lifelong learning. Can you think of something that you learned along the way in terms of friendships or caring specifically about others? You talked about that a little bit.
Well, we learned that like unhealthy friendships are bad because you never know if your friends are really good to you. And sometimes when you have unhealthy friendships, it makes you really sad.
Mhm.
So yes, you know, we learn like to distance ourselves, or like we can talk about it instead of like coming out like straightforward, like all mean and everything. Like we can talk it out smoothly, like fix it up, patch it up, and everything.
So you're learning some of those skills on
Yeah.
interpersonal skills.
Yes.
Anything else that you want to think
well, and like almost being responsible about yourself, and like to set goals for yourself and like to have accomplishments for the future.
That's great. Savannah?
Well, when we were learning trust, I was thinking about when we were like reviewing it, how like in trust you like in a friendship, relationship, or like a serious relationship, you have to have trust, because then there's really no point, because then you can be doing whatever and the other person doesn't know.
Right. And
Or get
honesty.
used.
Go ahead.
And that was just
But you're right, honesty, that type of thing. So think about you're going into 8th grade, and you to NFA, and Gine to Norwich Tech.
Yes.
What's one thing you can take with you that you learned as you open a new door and go to a new place, and you to be a role model for the 7th graders, and we have 6th graders in our little audience here, so what would you want them to know about that you've learned from this, because they may want to join your group next year, and you'll be an 8th grade group, so what might you say to someone who's coming in that they might learn?
Well, really just to be yourself and just to really enjoy what Ms. Dollinger and everybody else is offering.
Mhm.
I like it. I like it here. So.
You like it, yeah. Anything, what would you take with you to NFA when you go that you've
Well,
learned?
I would take like everything that I've learned and just like always remind myself about it. Like or like say like there's somebody sitting alone at a lunch table, and maybe just like be nice and go sit with them, and just be nice to people, helpful, and
Reach out?
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Gene, what will you take to Norwich Tech?
Patience.
Patience is a good
Yes.
word.
Because I don't have really like good patience, but I have to work on it. Like you have to have patience, because like things kind of move fast in 8th grade and 7th grade, but I'm just gonna move faster in 9th grade.
Mhm.
So I have to have patience. Like everything will come like when it's supposed to come. So I have to have patience.
That's great,
Yeah.
great. Now we're going to reach out to our Panthers in the audience who have some questions for you. I didn't really go into what your service learning projects were, so we're going to let them ask you about that. And then, Jay, maybe this will like encourage 6th graders to join for 7th graders, and even what you both said. So, so our first question, and you can say your name and introduce yourself. There you go.
My name's Olivia. I go to the 6th grade academy, and my question is, how has the top program changed you, such as your views or how you conduct yourself?
Olivia, thank you for that question. Who would like to answer that?
I will.
How has the top program changed you or adjusted how you think about things?
Top has really changed me, because I used to be like really like not caring about other people, like as their feelings. I always like to care about people, but as their feelings. But as like we progress more in top, like we learn like feelings are very like a big part of somebody's like life. So I have to like be caring to others and everything. So
That you can make a difference, right?
yes, yes.
Thank you. Do any of you want to? Go ahead.
Like before I came to middle school, I wasn't really like the best kid in the classroom, and like since I've expanded on in my middle school, I've learned from being in top that there's responsibilities growing up, and to really just know for your own actions and not to be really arrogant
Not
when you're
arrogant.
around others.
That's a good lesson. It will carry you far. Did you want to add anything to that question?
Well, being a top member has changed me so much, because it has made me so much more helpful and not always thinking about myself, and I'm more thoughtful, I think, because I don't always think about myself.
Boy, those lessons are like, wow. Maybe you can help some adults learn those lessons too, because it really makes me so proud of the program and of you as their leader and of you students for really considering some of these things, because that's what keeps our country going in our city and our schools. All right, question 2, introduce yourself.
My name is Jeffrey, and I'm from the 6th grade.
What's your first name?
Jeffrey, and I am from the 6th grade academy. My question is, what advice would you give to new students coming into the program?
What advice would you give to
I
these
would
students?
say to be yourself and just like have fun, because in top, like, you learn lessons, but at some point you're gonna have like fun with it, and it's gonna end up being fun.
Have maturity. Yeah, like you have to have like maturity.
Maturity?
Yes,
Mhm.
because we learn like hard topics about everyday life and everything. So we have to have maturity. Like you can't be all. Sometimes you can be goofy, but sometimes you have to like really like come on. Now you have to focus. Like you have to have maturity.
You can be fun. You
Yeah.
can have fun and be mature.
Yeah, there's like
right?
a time and place to do that. But sometimes when it's time to learn, you have to like get on
That's
the ball.
great. Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Good answers.
Well, and like if you're like personally quiet, try to make a friend in top.
Mhm.
Because like it can really help you during the span of the program.
That's great. All right, another question? Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and my question is, describe one pivotal moment that shifted your thinking. You thought one way, but now think another.
That's a good question. Who would like to answer that question?
Well, my most memorable moment was recently. It was the Mother's Day party, and I think it was the ladies in the shelter.
Oh,
They
you can
came.
talk about that project. Because we didn't get into what some of your community service was, so I want to link that to it.
Oh.
So can you talk about that project?
Well, I think when we was there in the gym, in the cafeteria, we set up the tables. We set up all the snacks and food like that. And then when they came, they all expressed their feelings and what they was doing at the shelter.
So
community
what did you invite them for? What did you say was the reason?
It was a Mother's Day party.
Oh, a Mother's Day
Mother's
party.
Day brunch. Yeah, we had a Mother's Day brunch. We made flowers, silk flowers. So with the pins, and we sold them for $1 to the school for the kids to
I
buy.
saw the signs for
Yeah,
this.
for the mothers. So and they were able to buy stuff for their moms for Mother's Day, and all the proceeds went to the Bethsaida community. Women's shelter. So then we invited them and asked them to come to our Mother's Day brunch in the cafeteria. And the women were very touched, and the kids were very touched, and it was just such a wonderful experience. So.
Do you realize what a difference that makes for people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody want to comment on another? Did you just do that one project this year? No.
She has a list
We've
of them.
done more. Well, in the beginning of the year, I think the very first project we went to the Norwich Rehab Center, and we went there like a couple times, and we got to meet like some people, and we got to like hear their story and like how their life was. We donated money to a family in need during Christmas, and we hosted an international party, and we read to first graders at Stanton, and we made sock puppets with four-year-olds at the Eagle View place. You know,
Like that daycare?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Well, you've been very busy.
and then the
Great.
most recent one that we did was we had a Mother's Day brunch at school.
At school. How did you decide? Well, are we done with questions, or do we have more? That's all your questions. Thank you very much for your really good questions. Are you interested in this program now? Oh yeah, see, you're recruiting. That's how you spread the message. So we have a few more minutes. So talk to me about. That was your favorite, right?
Yeah.
Jay, was the Mother's Day brunch one? What about others of you? Do you have other?
My favorite would say, okay, so I really like kids, and my favorite one was probably when we went to the daycare and we got to meet the kids, and we made sock puppets with them, and it was really nice because, like, they were, like, 4 or 5, so we got to, like, hear them, and what's funny with the little kids is, like, they like to make up stories, so it was nice to hear them, and with the first graders, too.
First graders too?
Yeah.
We did a friendship, like a segue, so they were their mentors, so they did that. It was really, really nice. So.
And was it a combo of 7th and 8th grade
Yeah,
together?
that was,
Yeah, for
yeah, it
the
was-
the Eagle View, it was 7th and 8th grade, but for Stanton, it was just the 8th graders.
Grade.
Yeah, yeah. So.
What about you, Gine?
Well, mine was the food pantry.
Oh yeah, that's right. We went there too.
Oh, yeah, we went
Wow, you
Yeah.
have done a lot. I'm so proud of you. Oh, my heart's like going like this. You could probably see it.
Yeah, we went. I think it was in New London.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it
I
was
think
in
it was
New
New London.
London.
Yeah.
German Moran, yeah.
Oh, you went to the
We had a food drive.
to the real food.
We went to the had a
Yes,
food
and
drive.
then we donated the food that we raised, like the canned foods.
Yes.
And like it taught me like don't take food for advantage because like sometimes I like to take more than I can eat.
Yes,
So it
we all
taught me
do, I
not.
think.
It taught me like not to waste food. So it really touched my heart. So yeah, and we donated some foods to people that don't have any. So I really liked it.
That's great. And you know, in our district, there's a mobile food pantry. Oh, I have to wrap it up. There's a mobile food pantry that comes once a month to Jaquonne, and we all volunteer, all the adults at the different
Oh,
schools.
yeah, my mom works there. My mom does that because
Yes.
she's part of UCFS, so
That-
my mom
right,
does that.
and we do that with our school. We actually last Thursday, I think, or 2 Thursdays ago, our office went. So we have to wrap it up. But
Wow.
it went by quickly, but I'm so taken and touched by your work. I did attend the program that you did last year with the dresses,
Oh yes, I remember.
which was great. But all of these events, and I think having our other students hear that is so important for our community. So keep up the good work. We thank everyone for watching, and it takes a team. And thank you so much for your
You're welcome.
leadership. It's great, and Ms. Wilson too. And spread the word so we can recruit more students for next year.
Okay.
So now you can.